Okay, this is Chapter 2, Lesson 6, Estimate with Percents. On the left-hand side, we're going to estimate the percent of a number. So we're going to choose compatible numbers when estimating the percent of a number. A compatible number is just a number you change something into so it goes in easily. So on number 1, we're going to estimate each percent. We're going to use 48% of 76. Since we're just estimating, we're going to choose numbers that are easier to work with. So we're not going to get the exact answer. So 48%, we're going to change that to 50. 76 is close to 80, so we're going to change it in to 80. So we're not using the exact numbers. That will come in the next lesson, but today we're just going to estimate to see if we can get around the right thing. So our next step is we're going to draw a bar. On the top of the bar, we're going to start with 0% and go to 100%. And then we're going to look at our percent here. It says 50%, so right in the middle, we're going to write 50% because we're going to count by 50. 0, 50, 100. The number you put up here depends on what percent you have here, and you'll see that down on the next question. On the bottom, we start with 0 because when we start counting, we have 0. And then whatever number is right here, that's going to be what's at 100%. Now we need to figure out what goes there. So half of 80 is 40. So your answer is 40. Okay, let's look at this next one. 18%. That's close to 20. And 42 is close to 40. So we're going to start with our bar. On the top, we're going to do percent, so we start with 0% and go to 100%. Now, this time we have a 20%, so we need to count by something that will get 20% and 100%. And so we're going to use 20s because 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 will get us there. So we have 20%, 40%, 60%, and then 80%. At 100%, down here, we need to write 40. And now we need to figure out, it's 0 right here because that's what we start with. Now we need to figure out what we're going to count by. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So we're going to do 40 divided by 5, and we get 8. So we're going to count by 8s. So we have 8, 16, 24, 32, and we get to 40. Now it's asking at 20%. So at 20%, we're at 8. So your answer is 8 on this one. Our next one, 73%, is close to 75%. 42, just like in the last one, it was 42. We're going to change it to 40. We're going to draw our bar. We start with zeros. On the top, we have a 0%, and we're going to go to 100%. And below 100%, we're going to write 40 because that's the number we have. Now, we need to count by something that gets us to 75%, but also 100%. And if we think quarters, that will help us. So we have 25%, 50%, and 75%. And we want to know what number is at 75%. So I'm going to put a circle there so you know whatever number gets there is our answer. So we need to figure out what we're going to count by. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So we're going to do 40 divided by 4 is 10. So we're counting by tens. So we have 10, 20, 30. Since the 30 falls at the 75%, our answer is 30. Okay, we're going to look over on this side. And now, anytime that you have anything 100 or higher, we're going to estimate using a rate per 100. So that means you are going to change the number that's in 100 or higher to the nearest 100. Those 301 is closest to 300. We're going to use 27 just the way that it is, and we're going to write 27% as a fraction. Remember, percents are out of 100, so we're going to change 27% to 27 over 100. And then we're going to take this 300 and we're going to put it on the bottom. And we need to find out what is going to go right there. So to get from 100 to 300, I multiply by 3 because 100 times 3 is 300. So whatever I do down here, I'm going to do up here. So 27 times 3. Some of you can do that in your head. If you can't, I'm doing it on the side for you. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. So we get 81 is our answer there. This next one, remember 76%, we're going to write as a fraction. Percents are out of 100, so 76 over 100. 192, we have to figure out, is that closest to 100 or 200? And it's closest to 200, so we're going to write 200. Now that guy, that 200 is going to go right down on the bottom. We need to figure out this right here. So 100 times 2 is 200. Whatever we do here, we have to do the same thing up here. So 76 times 2. If you can do it in your head, that's awesome. If not, you're going to come to the side of your paper and do it just like me. So 76 times 2 is 152, and that is your answer right here. And our last one is a word problem. Last year, 24% of the zoo visitors were under the age of 3. So our percent is 24%. We're going to write that as a fraction. So 24 over 100. Last week, the zoo had 996 visitors. So 996. We're going to round that up to 1,000. And 100 times 10 is 1,000. If we multiply by 10 down here, we need to multiply by 10 up here. 24 times 10 is 240, and that is your answer. If you need to rewatch this, make sure you understand what you're doing, do that. If not, get out page 140, and we're going to do some problems on there. Okay, on page 140, pause the video for a couple minutes, and I want you to try to do 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. When you're done trying the best of your ability, start it again, and we'll do it together. Okay, let's see how you did. We're going to change 19% to 20. And we're going to change 53 to 50. I'm going to draw my bar. So I have 0% to 100%. My percent's 20, so I'm going to count by 20s going up. I have 20, 40, 60, 80, then 100. On the bottom, I start with 0. And I'm going to go all the way to 50 because that's what we changed it to. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 50 divided by 5 is 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. We're looking at 20% what our number is, and that should be 10. So your answer is 10. For this next one, I'm going to write on a different thing so you can see it a little easier. So 21%, I'm going to change to 20%. 96, I'm going to change to 100. So 21%. I'm going to draw my bar. So I start at 0%, I'm going to 100%. Just like the last one, since I changed it to 20%, I'm counting by 20s. So I have 20, 40, 60, 80. On the bottom, I start with 0. The number I changed it into was 100. And because it's the same exact thing, I'm going to count by the same exact stuff. So 20, 30, not 20, 30, 20, 40, 60, 80. We're looking at 20% what the number is, and at 20%, your answer would be 20. This next one, 59%. 59%. I'm going to change that to 60%. And 16, you could go either way here, changing it to 15 or 20. I'm going to go with 15. You could have went with 20 and it would have been fine. I'm going to draw my bar. I start with 0%, they go to 100%. To get to 60 and 100, I'm going to count by 20s again. So 20, 40, 60, 80, and I want to know at 60%, so it's going to be what we have here. I'm going to start with 0, I'm going to 15, because that's the number I got. So I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So I'm counting by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12. 9 is in the box at 60%, so 9 is our answer. Let's look at number 4. A purse that originally cost $29.99 is on sale for 50% off. But how much is the sale price of the purse? So $29.99, we're going to put up to 30. So I'm changing this number to 30, and I'm going to leave 50% where it is. So I changed it to 50%, and I changed it to 30. I'm going to draw my bar. Some of you may be like, 50% of 30, I know what that is already, and that's awesome if you do. Okay, I need to get 50 and 100 on the line, so I'm going to count by 50%. I start with 0, I'm going with 30. Half of 30 is 15, so your answer is 15. So for this one, we get 15. If you want to put a money sign on, that's great. And our last one, this guy, he received $496, and he has to pay 33% of his bonus to taxes. So $496. We're going to change, this one's a little different than the ones that we did. We're going to keep 33%, and we're going to write it as 33 over 100. And then we're going to change 496 into 500. So we're trying to see what we need to multiply 100 to get to 500, and that is a 5. So 100 times 5 is 500. Then 33 times 5 is what you need to do to find your answer. So 33 times 5, we get 15, 16. We get $165 as our answer. Okay. If you need to go back over and look at this again, make sure you are doing that.